physical, spiritual, all directed toward a single goal. When you achieve that, guess what happens? Well, you start to get those results, right? You start to see those results materialize. And it's not because you're lucky. It's not because, everything just lined up. No, it's because your thoughts, your ideas, your physical, moral, and spiritual energy, everything is aligned toward a single goal. So what inevitably starts to happen? Things start to materialize, the results start to come. But how do I align myself so that happens when I have to face situations every day that throw me off emotionally? So there are days when you have every intention, you're all in on, then something happens that you didn't expect. Something unexpected happens, and that drains your energy, causes you stress, causes you delays. That day, you don't want to do anything. That day, you don't even want to get up. That day, an existential crisis begins, which I don't really call it a crisis. I call it, I'm going to say a bad word, but I want you to it so it sticks with you, okay? So you start with something I call existential malparides, you don't even know why or how, but that day you just start off not wanting to do anything, feeling lazy, right? Feeling discouraged. Have any of you ever gone through a fuzzy phase like that? Has anyone here ever gone through a phase like that? So, okay, perfect. So what happens, folks? What happens? That's why some people move forward faster and others don't, because they allow themselves those moments. So it's not just about saying, well, I just won't feel like that anymore. No, if it were that simple, then everyone would already have everything figured out, right? But it's not that simple. What does it depend on? It depends on spiritual training. It depends on the kind of training you're receiving right now, right? It depends on the information you tell yourself every day, the conversation you have with yourself daily, so that no matter what happens around you, you stay focused on what you need to achieve. And in the end, that allows you to always see results materialize. And little by little, it becomes a positive snowball effect, where it's not that you don't care about things, but rather you adopt a problem-solving attitude, a mindset focused on solutions. This will always lead you to see results manifest, because you won't see problems as problems, but as situations you need to resolve. And in the end, those situations are actually bringing you closer to your goal. Even though many times it may seem otherwise, even though many times it feels like what you're actually doing is just delaying things, but that's not the case. What you're really doing is getting much closer. When you bring that mental anchor and and understand and say, okay, so everything that happens to me is actually bringing me closer. But how, Juan, how is it bringing me closer if this set me back? It took away my time? No, it didn't let me move forward. It didn't let me be myself, right? I had to solve things. I couldn't get my work done. Maybe the work you had to do was exactly that, just maybe. Every time I say maybe, it's almost certain that's how it is. It's not even a maybe, it's definitely what you needed to do. Are you following what I'm saying? Are we on the same page? Great. Awesome. Super. Listen to this very carefully. If you allow yourself to have that first-hand information, I assure you, don't wait for us to be inviting you to your training every single day. Even though our team does an enormous job of sharing information with you, inviting you, uploading videos, showing you, right? Like the video I just shared with you, and I send it in the afternoon, in the morning, you need to move away from that, because if you wait for someone else to call you, for someone else to look for you, then that's exactly what will happen with your results. The one who is calling, the one who is searching, is the one who gets them. The one who waits for everything to come to them and just happen, guess what's going to happen? It will never happen to you. So that's called leadership that doesn't ask for permission. We've called this chapter Leadership That Doesn't Ask for Permission. A leadership that takes initiative, right? A leadership that is always offering solutions. And from a completely different perspective, is the one that is leaving silence behind. Stepping out of the role of being ignored, of being someone who has no value, stepping out of that victim role, right? Have you ever played the victim? It's just that, well, I come from a very poor family. It's that I wasn't given an education. It's that I didn't have a father. It's that I'm too old, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm white, I'm black, right? That role is only going to lead you to the results you currently have. And the result is the result. Neither bad nor good. But it's not the one you're looking for or the one you want. So my goal in this chapter 10, remember, there are 30 chapters. We're not even halfway yet, but we're on the right track, is to explain to you how you can develop that leadership, to show you how you can become a powerful leader, so that everything in your life materializes. Everything happens, not because you're lucky, not because you have more skill, but because you decided it would be that way. You decided that things would happen in your life. You're not asking for permission to see if maybe you're not waiting for the stars and planets to align for it to happen. You are the one who makes it happen. When people ask me, do you think you're lucky? Of course I'm lucky. Oh, so fortunate. Do you really believe in yourself? Number is that I build my own luck. I work every day so that luck happens. That's the kind of leadership that doesn't ask for permission. There is no fire that needs authorization to burn. With this intention and this attitude, you have to get up every single blessed day with this desire to live. But wait, Juan, I'm already about to go to bed. Well, even so, go to bed eager to keep living. Feel like you're wasting time when you sleep, because sleep is what eternity is for. Here, what we have to do is live every single day. That way, believe me, great things are built. The goal of this chapter is to awaken an authentic leadership that doesn't depend on permission or validation. You're not waiting for someone else's opinion. Most likely, the ones who always have something to say are the critics. And critics don't do anything because, well, it's very easy to criticize from the sidelines. I love how people use so-called constructive criticism when they go to the theater or the movies and say, no, I thought he looked messy, his hair wasn't done right. Let's see, I want to see them doing what he was doing to get his hair messed up, right? So whenever someone is judging you and speaking from their own opinion about what you're doing, you can say, I want to see you do it. Let's see what you're doing. So ignite that inner courage that comes from rejection, from injustice, from being marginalized, so that you can turn it into action and truly achieve real change. That is the goal. There are two types of motivation: motivation from pain and motivation from pleasure. I recommend you choose pain because pain lasts. Look at the exercise you're about to do with yourself. Bring to mind something that has hurt you deeply. Like this, like this. Okay. Now everyone has it in their mind. Everyone has it. Someone who has hurt you, someone who has wounded you. Remember a moment when you felt a lot of sadness and pain. Now you have them present. Now what you need to do is feed that feeling, but without resentment, without anger, without hatred. Feed it so that it gives you drive, so that it gives you fuel. And if that caused you a lot of pain and you don't want to go through it again, so that it gives you that fuel, so that you work on it every day and never have to go through a stage like that again. And if, on the other hand, it's something you want to erase from your mind but haven't been able to, I want to tell you that pain endures until the end of your days, while pleasure is forgotten, because ultimately our self-esteem increases as long as we give ourselves the value we want to have. And since we're always seeking approval and validation from others, you'll never have the value you truly deserve, the one you want, and the one you should have. You have to be very convinced, very clear that if I want a truly genuine, authentic, and lasting result, I have to love myself more every day. And how do I love myself more every day if I see that maybe I'm not making progress the way I should? Maybe not everything I say comes true. Maybe I set goals for myself and they don't happen, they don't work out because I'm not consistent, I'm not persistent, I don't have the training for many reasons. Your self-esteem is completely proportional to your leadership. So if you increase your leadership, you start to believe in yourself more and you see yourself as superior without diminishing others. And by seeing yourself as superior, you believe you can achieve anything. We are the manifestation of what we believe. If you believe you are a superhero, if you believe you are a person with vision and enough leadership, guess what will happen? The world, the universe will conspire for that. And you will start to train more, to educate yourself more, to understand more, and consequently, to have more leadership. If you are someone who believes you are a millionaire right now, in the end, you will work towards that and it will materialize. But you have to feel like a millionaire now, not when you have the money. You have to feel fortunate now. You have to feel superior now so that you can show the way to others. Although in my speech, you have often heard me say, we are all equal. We should all behave the same. Obviously, but many people, thousands of people need just one person to show them the way, to guide them. When they find that person, they say, that's it. Immediately, this is the one I have to follow. This is my direction. Beyond being a person of results, because people of results can be fleeting. The key is to follow a person who, under any circumstance, stands firm, keeps going, moves forward, keeps smiling, even if there's manure at their feet. Keep smiling even if the mud is up to their neck. Keeps working every single day. That is the true leader. A leader is not just someone who shows you results, but someone who through their experience shows you how they work. When willpower becomes authority, because there are leaders without titles, but with grit. There are figures who don't have titles, who don't have credentials, but who have conviction, who don't expect to be recognized, who don't expect to receive glory for their actions. Those are the kinds of leaders you should follow. They are the ones who aren't made behind the desk. They're the ones who go out and work every day. They are the ones who are born from wounds, from rejection, from injustice, but who can no longer tolerate being in the darkness, being forgotten. If you are the kind of person who wants to grow from there, I want to tell you that true leaders are measured at the edge, at the boundary, when we are about to jump into the abyss because we are tired of living that way. It is in that moment that you make the decision and start working when you have no other choice but to leap and forget that you are a human being and forget about this earthly world. That is the kind of leader we need to build every day. Okay? Are we clear up to this point? Let me know if you find the information you're receiving interesting, if you really see value in all of this, if you understand what we're telling you. Over the last few chapters, we've repeated this 1,000 times, and this chapter is no different. You have to understand that if you're here, it's because you want to break out of the mold, you want to step out of the sketch, you want to leave the so-called comfort zone, right? You didn't come here to fit in. You came to be the difference. You came to assert your truth. Which truth? The one you've always wanted to express but have kept quiet just to please everyone and not lose what you have now. Just because of that, because the system rewards those who obey. Because the kind of leadership that has been promoted for so long is the one that follows the rules. And the kind of leadership we're inviting you to embrace here, chaotic leadership rewards those who assert themselves and those who stand firm and remain true to their own truth. Because those are the people we need around us, not the ones who just follow the guidelines, but those who turn all their anger, their fears, their resentment, and their hatred into fuel. That's the real deal. The one who decides that their cause is worth more than their comfort, the one who stands firm despite failures and says, here I am, someone who turns discouragement and disappointment into fuel. Do you want a key to getting results? Everything that happens to you is fuel for your life. The difference lies in the fact that out there, all the problems people face hold them back, slow them down. All those situations where you're emotionally affected because someone lets you down, because someone doesn't reciprocate after everything you've done for them, after all you've done, and they still keep failing you, that is fuel for your life. That is fuel for what you want to achieve. The one who criticizes you and you think, how can they criticize me? When I know and understand everything, that is fuel for your life. The one who offends you, the one who hurts you, who wants to harm you, who wants to marginalize you, that is fuel to keep moving forward. That is the difference. The difference lies in acting in the invisible. And every time something like that happens to you, be grateful for life. Be grateful to God. Because this is forging you. And the truly worthwhile things are forged in fire. They are truly forged from there. Leadership is not something that just appears. Leadership is shaped by each one of these situations. Do you think a lot of negative things have happened to you in your life? Don't worry. It's okay. Tell me the truth. I think I really do believe it. I do believe that a lot of things have happened to me. I mean, things that shouldn't have happened to me. And the point here is how I can understand that it's not about being unlucky or having bad luck, right? What you need to know here is that if a lot of things have happened to you that have held you back along the way, it's because you're aiming for much more. And when you aim for much more, you take bigger risks. And since you take more risks and don't have enough experience, well, guess what happens? In the end, what inevitably happens is just that you are certainly going to lose even more, and you are going to become increasingly frustrated precisely because you are consistently aiming for a much higher level of achievement and success. You can easily see people who are successful at their level because there are different levels of success who have had smaller financial, social, or emotional losses. Because what they were aiming for, their maximum goal, was just that. For that person, that might be the highest they can achieve. If you ask that person, do you think anything bad has happened to you? Of course, all sorts of things have happened to me. But if you start asking what has happened to someone else, for that person, nothing has really happened. Oh, what's happened to me? Of course, because you were aiming higher. You aim higher. And true intelligence isn't based on accumulation. It's embodied intuition. Intuition is achieved when you have gone through all these processes, and those processes give you experience. And as a result, you later meet people who say, but how did you know that? They say, what happens is that I had already lived through it and already lost. So it would be illogical for me to go through it again and not understand it. Just recently, this happened to me. I was in Dubai. We were in a business deal. And I told a group of people, I said, this is as far as we go. But how, Juan? If they're paying, it's the end. But they're paying me. It's the end. This is about to stop working. But why? I said, because they did this, and this. And I had already experienced that in another business that repeated the business model was exactly the same. And I had lost a few $100,000 there. So I was able to avoid the loss on a bigger scale this time. However, I did lose, but not enough, not what I had to lose or what I was willing to lose. Okay. So the first step comes from suspicion, right? From suspicion. The second is the truth of what already happened. And the third, well, that's the revolution. So when you become suspicious, is because you've already gained an experience that turns into a truth. Now, what do you do with that? Do you just settle for the simple intention of, well, that's it, it happened, and I will simply forget about it completely? Or rather, do I effectively turn all those significant experiences into powerful leadership that doesn't ask for any permission whatsoever, and then act from the profound perspective that I can truly achieve so much more than what that everyone has started to achieve? And that fire turns into suspicion, and that truth turns into a revolution. It's not enough to just have the intention to do something. What you have to do is do it. Do it. And then to turn a revolution into a revolution is to do it differently. Not just achieve an opinion about your steps. The power of the impossible. A phrase I really love is aim for the impossible and the possible will become reality. Unexpected action will open cracks. The it can't be done becomes an opportunity for you, a trigger. That is the kind of leadership that doesn't ask for permission. Every time you get a rejection or you hear, I can't, I don't want to, I shouldn't, it becomes a trigger for the leader inside you to come out and start fighting for what you truly want. Because you don't fight just for yourself, but for those who already gave up along the way. If there's someone who has already given up, that's your chance to prove that it can be done. Your cause becomes the center of gravity. That's when you have to figure out if what you're doing is truly worth it. There's no room for ego or time for excuses, because when you're fighting, when you're really fighting, that's exactly when many people will criticize you. But do you know when they'll be quiet? When they see your results? You become the voice of those who have already given up. Because, well, you probably won't change their world. It's enough for you to change your own so that they can see the possibility reflected in you. And even though they'll see that it was possible, guess what? In the end, they'll never do it. Because there are people who were born to be, who were born to succeed. There are others who will only ever stay on the sideline. Who among you believes you were born to be the protagonist of your own life? Remember what I just told you. We are what we believe. If I tell you that I was born to be a successful person, that I was born to develop myself, to shape and guide others, and show them the way, what should you do? Oh no, I definitely wasn't born for that. No, not me, no way. We are what we believe, and what we believe we say. If I believe that I was born to sit in the stands and just watch others achieve results from afar, then that's exactly how things will turn out. Don't think that things will be any different down there. But if, on the other hand, I believe that I really can be that person, that guiding light so many people are waiting for, well, that's great, because that's the price of true freedom. This leadership I'm trying to teach you is not a comfortable kind of leadership. It might not bring you applause, you know? You might find yourself alone, because when you aim to reach the highest peak, chances are you won't have many people around you, since not everyone is willing to go through what you're willing to endure for your dreams. No one else is going to pay the price that you have to pay to achieve those results. The price of doing nothing is the most unaffordable price there is in the world. I would rather face my battles or live through my battles, many of them, to have put all my intention, my strength, my drive, my knowledge into them, and experience my battle 7 if defeated then, to not leave any of them at all. Because on that path of pursuing my dreams, my goals, and the things I want for my life, being a person is being formed and forged. And that person is gaining experience every single day. And at the end of the road, we may achieve our goals. Because those who fight for justice without asking for permission become a point of reference. Those who dare to take control of their lives without looking for someone to blame, without seeking any truth, that in the end, maybe, okay, I'll give it to you, I'll say, sure. It's hard for that person. I can accept that. But at the end of the day, what really matters is whether you're truly willing to eliminate everything that wastes your time. To eliminate people, places, things you do that ultimately are just holding you back, and to be willing to conquer that and not let any more time go by. Because our lives are too short to spend so much of it suffering. It's worth it to suffer for a while and then enjoy the rest of the time with your dream already achieved, doing what you truly love, which I think is what we all should do. But you have to pay the price. You have to pay it with a lot of sacrifice. I want to ask you a couple of questions to finish up. And that's the area where you're going to start working, okay? The very first and most important question that I would like to ask you, if I may, is this. Exactly where are you currently waiting for official approval to proceed with everything? In what area of your life are you waiting to be approved? For example, I don't really know, you want to travel, right? And you're always kind of asking for explicit permission from your family, your boss, or perhaps even other significant people for something truly important that you want to do. This often involves seeking approval for your personal aspirations and endeavors. Maybe you want to develop a skill, something you wanted to do for a long time, and you're waiting for the universe's approval, maybe to do it. In what area of your life have you been procrastinating, putting things off? And I want you to make a list. Write down a list of actions you haven't taken out of fear of what others might say. Yes, make a list. No, I haven't done this because I think people might say this to me. And just think about what would happen if you start manifesting and doing what you need to do. How would your entire life truly change if you completely stopped putting important things off because of overwhelming fear and apprehension? You will start to manifest what you truly want, decide, or wish to do without asking for permission. Manifest without permission. You are going to write, for example, something like this. I am a prosperous, truly abundant, and very wealthy person. I don't have to ask for permission to be the leader I want to be. For example, this is a good illustration. Or I am a truly healthy, incredibly successful, and abundantly wealthy individual. And as for what other people might potentially say or think, that is absolutely not my personal concern. And I genuinely do not care at all. Because you are not the opinions or actions of others. You've been following or trying to please everyone when the first person you need to please is yourself in order to manifest the results you want. You can't manifest results in your life if you don't give yourself the importance you deserve. Do you understand? When you stop asking for permission for what you truly desire and want, that's when it will start to manifest. That's it. You are going to start your daily ritual of silent affirmations. Looking at yourself in the mirror, you are going to tell yourself what fear you have, and you're going to face it. And you're not going to say, someday I'll start doing it. No. Because you didn't come here to ask for permission, you came to light the way for everyone. Your truth will set you free, even if it hurts. It's better now than never. It's better now than to reach the end of your days and say, what I always wanted to do, I never did. And you even lose your essence. You lose who you truly are because you were always thinking about others. When the way to help everyone and grow within your family environment or with friends or in friendships or at work is that you believe you can do it, you grow and start to manifest your truth. And from there, guess what happens? Everything starts to happen. Everything starts to be believed because you didn't come here to ask for permission. You came to light the way for others. Even if your uncomfortable truth is breaking the pattern that everyone else is following, leadership that changes structures may not always be accepted, but its impact will be irreversible. That's the kind of leadership we need. Because when someone stops seeking approval, they become more dangerous to the system. And that's what we need. Disruptive people, people who break the mold and start to become the leader they truly want to be. You don't need anyone to let you be. You are who you are because of your fierce nature, because of your energetic way of building your leadership. The more leadership you have, the easier it will be for you to rise. Sometimes I joke with the people I work closely with and tell them that they get sick, right? They catch a cold or something like that. I tell them it's a lack of leadership, pure lack of leadership. If that's happening to you, it's because of a lack of leadership. So don't worry. You just need to increase your leadership. You're on the right path. That's why you're here. I congratulate you and acknowledge you for making this valuable time for yourself. Because in the rush of your life, you spend your time doing countless things just to survive. Just to survive when the most important thing you need to do is grow internally so that whatever you do it more effectively, more quickly, more efficiently, and you start manifesting things in your life. That's how it's done, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of this chapter. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that for chapters 29 and 30, we'll be at the military camp near Bogota, about 2 hours away in a place called La Mesa. From there, we're going to experience an immersive training, a one-of-a-kind training. Truly, you can't miss it. Now, you not only have to show up for the training, you have to experience it with other people. Remember that the chapters we're writing are lived on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, we're on at 10 at night. On Saturdays, we're on at 10 in the morning, Colombia time. And in these chapters, you will receive parts that will get you ready for the training because it's a training that will challenge you, that will tighten your screws, right? It's not a training where we're all just going to be happy. It's something intense. If you make it to the training, which I don't know if you're already registered, and if you're not, you need to do it now. The training has a cost, but ask the person who invited you, and maybe you could even get it for free. There's actually a strategy being used for that right now. So try to make it to that training. Just try. That's all I'm asking. When I say try, it's actually mandatory if you want to graduate from this book we're writing together. Join in, sign up right now. We'll add you to a group. After we add you to the group, we'll give you some tools. And we start writing chapter 29 and chapter 30. This is a book that's being written. It's called Chaotic Leadership with Purpose. We're on chapter 10. If you like this chapter, write to me and rate it from 1 to 10 how much you liked it. And now I'm going to tell you something really interesting. If you like this chapter, you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine what's waiting for you in the next one. If you've missed any of the chapters, I want you to tell me, Juan, I have missed some of the chapters. What can I do? Don't worry. We have two ways for you to listen to them. One is through iBooks and the other is on the YouTube channel, okay? I'll leave it here for you so you have it. Here I'm going to leave you the chapter. Look for it like this, chaotic leadership. In the one I'm leaving you here, you'll only find the chaotic leadership chapters. It's just leadership there, okay? So you have it. It's also on the channel. Yes, on the YouTube channel. Perfect. And it's also on iBooks, okay? If you're listening to me on iBooks, check the comments, because in the comments you'll find the links both for YouTube and for iBooks. Obviously, if you're listening to me on iBooks, if you're listening to me on YouTube, also check the comments. There you'll find the iBooks link and you'll be able to get all the information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for being here and staying connected. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being part of this. You can't miss episode 11. Did you like this episode? Did you enjoy it? You have to listen to the others. This needs to become a routine. You spend your time listening to music. You spend your time listening to news that doesn't help you grow. I don't know, whatever it is you're listening to right now, but you need to listen to the next episodes. If you listen to the next episodes and the previous ones, I guarantee you absolute success. I guarantee not only your own success, but I guarantee that you'll become the successful person you've always wanted to be. But you have to be in next episodes. The next episode is called Abandon the Image. Embrace your voice. We're going to talk about the ego, about how it should help us, but sometimes what it actually does is destroy us. We're going to abandon the image and embrace the voice of your spirit, your soul, what you truly are. Abandon the image, embrace your voice. Ladies and gentlemen, the previous episodes have been good, but it just keeps getting better. Look, I'm telling you right now, from this moment on, starting with episode 11, you need a foundation to understand the information. That's why I invite you to listen to the previous ones. Listen to me again. Listen to me, because that starts to reach your subconscious. And when it gets to your subconscious, it begins to manifest and you start to act in a different way. And then you start to say, it's just that I'm lucky. Things are going really well for me. No. It's that you already have the training. And since you have it, amazing things start happening in your life. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have an excellent day, an excellent night. Whenever you're listening to me, this was Juan Manuel Jimenez speaking to you, creator of wealth, prosperity, and abundance for all your lives. A special greeting. See you soon, guys. Take care. All the best to you. Thank you all, truly.